साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ 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 शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
When I think of my mother, the first thing that comes to mind is she's a perfect example of God being omnipresent.
When I think of my mother, I get reminded of the affection she shows towards me.
When I think of my mother, the first thing that comes to my mind is the sacrifice that she has made for all of us.
When I think of my mom, I think it's unconditional love that comes to my mind when I think of her. So yeah, unconditional love.
Karunarasam, whatever you want, you can get it done. She gives you.
Sai Ram.
When I think of my mother, the first thing comes to my mind is her unconditional love and affection towards everyone and her simple life, and she has sacrificed her life for the family.
So when I think of my mother, the first thing that comes to my mind is her readiness and selflessness to help and support service people. She puts service at front than anything else.
When I think of my mother, she is another form of God. God cannot be everywhere, so God has given us mother where we can always be with her, share our difficulties, share our happiness.
When I think of my mother, the word that immediately comes to my mind is her bravery and her courage. Because my father passed away when we were young, and she was a single mother who got us all up, got us married, and gave us education. Everything, she did it all by herself. So I think that is the first thing. I see her as a personification of courage.
When I think my mother, she is the only person who gives excessive love. I can't feel from anyone else.
Patience, love, sacrifice. Love is what mother means to me.
நம்மை ஈன்றெடுத்த தாயை பற்றிய பொதுவான கருத்து எல்லாருக்கும் பொருந்தும். அம்மா என்பது தமிழ் வார்த்தை, அதுவே குழந்தையின் முதல் வார்த்தை. அம்மா என்று அழைக்காத உயிர் இல்லை, அம்மாவை வணங்காமல் உயர்வில்லை, தாயிற் சிறந்த கோயிலும் இல்லை என்பது என்னுடைய தாழ்மையான கருத்து.
It's a never-ending love which begins. There is no ending her love.
My mother will give to food everybody. Whatever comes inside, they will give food. The first quality of my mother.
sustain all of my own. I'd like to give you what you gave to me, Mother, sweet Mother of mine.
Sai Ram and welcome to Prasanthi Chronicles. We are at one of the most serene, sublime and spiritually uplifting places of Puttaparthi. Even though this place is outside the Prasanthi Nilayam ashram, the moment you step in here, you feel you have entered the ashram all over again. You can listen to the beautiful chirping of the birds. This place surrounded by lovely sands, gentle breeze, flowers and trees. This is the holy site where the divine parents of Bhagwan, Pedda Venkaparaju and Mother Easwaramma reside. It was in the early morning hours of May 6, 1972. Suddenly, Mother Easwaramma calls out to Bhagwan, Swami, Swami, and Swami from upstairs responds saying, I'm coming. And he comes down with a silk sari in his hand. Bhagwan goes straight to Mother Easwaramma. Venkamma Garu, the elder daughter of Mother Easwaramma, was there by her side. Swami tells her she attained what she always prayed for, a painless Passover. She is extremely fortunate. Bhagwan then draped her body with silk cloth, even as Kamavadhani Garu, the Vedic scholar, was there chanting Vedic hymns. Professor Kasturi, the author of The Chosen Mother, likens the call of Mother Easwaramma to that of Gajendra calling out to Lord Vishnu, and the Lord immediately responding. It is like two wires connecting in that split second and the release happening simultaneously. Mother Easwaramma is revered, adored and worshipped the world over, not just because of the matchless fortune she had of mothering the divine, but because of the matchless thing she achieved with the opportunity she was blessed with. At the root of all the social welfare initiatives of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, be it the schools, the hospitals and the colleges, it was her sincere prayer to Bhagwan to establish them. Her heart melted at the misery of the rural folk around. In fact, she was the happiest when the construction of the Sri Sathya Sai General Hospital began. She herself would join the women devotees hauling sand, stone and bricks up to the construction site. She would go into the homes of the villagers, take the women patients to the doctor in the hospital, advise them not to go to the local quacks, and once they were admitted, she would be there with them till they recovered, so that they know that there is a mother in this village who cares for them, who is deeply interested in their health, in their happiness, in their welfare. There are any number of instances when Mother Easwaramma, unable to bear the suffering of a devotee, went to Bhagwan and pleaded on the devotee's behalf. There was this couple from West Godavari who had come to Puttaparthi with a sick child. They stayed in Prasanthi Nilayam for 7 days seeking Bhagwan's audience. They could not get that opportunity and they were leaving crestfallen. At that moment, Mother Easwaramma sees them, and when she hears their plight, she takes that little child by her hand straight to Swami's room and pleads, Swami, you have to do something for this child. Swami hears her prayer very patiently and simply says, Chustanu, I will see. But Mother Easwaramma says, no Swami, you have to cure the child. And Swami gives in to her prayer and heals the child. The prayer of a mother never goes unfulfilled. But imagine the prayer of the Divine Mother. That is why our prayers to her are important. Her blessings for us are potent. Perhaps it is to cultivate in us this sense of reverence, this sense of gratitude and love for the Divine Mother that Swami himself used to come to this shrine every year on Easwaramma Day. In May 2010, when Bhagwan was here, it was a very, very touching sight. And Brother Arvind Sai, who is here with us now, he was very much inside this shrine, this altar when Bhagwan came in. Brother, you recall that moving scene?
Sai Ram Vishu. Indeed, it's a great opportunity to be back here, seeking Mother's blessings. I vividly remember being here on 6th May 2010. We are all doing bhajans there outside, just outside Samadhi. And Swami was inside doing the rituals. There was a ritual going on here. And suddenly Swami called for both of us, me and my Burakada partner, and asked us to sing two of the beautiful songs which he liked the most from the Burakada presentation, which was performed on Easwaramma. So I just want to sing that beautiful padyam. It goes like this. Ratnakaravamshapu Rajamata Samataku Mamataku Punadivesina Punita Nitiki Seva Niratiki Nilachina Navyagita Madaru Terisanu Maripinchina Daivamata Nidurinchina Bhaktiki Tolikodi Kuta Mahilamani Lokaniki Bhagavad Gita Ninuganna Pudami Talliki Sannihita Ratnakaravamshapu Rajamata And the meaning also is so beautiful, Vishu. I just wanted to tell.
Please.
Ratnakaravamshapu Rajamata. Here the poet says that she is the crest jewel of Ratnakara clan.
Wow.
And Samataku Mamataku Punadivesina Punita, which means that she stood for compassion and unity.
Wow.
Nitiki Seva Niratiki Nilachina Navyagita, she stood for morality in society. Seva Niratiki, for service. Nidurinchina Bhaktiki Toli Kodikuta, the devotion which is there in devotees, which is in slumber, she is the one, she awakens the devotion in everyone.
Wow.
And again it goes Ratnakaravamshapu Rajamata. So this is a beautiful padyam which Swami liked. And there is another song I remember which Swami asked us to sing right here. It just goes like this. I'll just sing 2 lines of it.
Please.
Yenta goppa intivamma sadviro Easwaramma Yenta goppa intivamma sadviro Easwaramma Yavaru saati leru neeku jagatilona Devudamma Yavaru saati leru neeku jagatilona Devudamma Yenta goppa intivamma sadviro Easwaramma. These 2 songs and many more compositions or dramas, whenever staged in front of Bhagavan, I always felt that Swami is trying to drive home the lesson, saying that one should have that kind of a devotion, compassion and love for one's mother.
Yeah.
You know, even in discourses when we hear Bhagavan saying about mother,
yes,
it is not that he's telling it is about Easwaramma or it's about when Swami narrates about Gandhiji's mother. It is each one of us should have that fervor and that love for mother, and that through his life he showed all this to all of us.
In fact, I think we have seen any number of occasions when the very mention of the word Easwaramma, that would overwhelm Swami's eyes. It could be in a discourse, in an interaction, in a bhajan, but the very word Easwaramma, you should see what it does to Bhagwan's heart.
It moves him a lot.
It moves him, and I think that is what Bhagwan wants us to cultivate, isn't it?
Very true.
The very mention of the word mother should melt our heart.
Very true, brother.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother.
In 2010, Bhagwan was physically 85 years old, but Swami insisted on coming inside and he personally gave the sari to be adorned on the Divine Mother. In fact, these 2 statues were installed in that year. Come to think of it, it was on the very last visit of Bhagwan to this shrine, the last trip in his physical form, that Bhagwan blessed us with these 2 statues. A sculptor from Jaipur carved these beautiful images, and when they came to Prasanthi and Nilayam, Swami was so ecstatic looking at these images that Swami kept these two idols in his residence in Yajur Mandir for over a month. Every day when Bhagwan came out of his room, Swami would always look at the statues. He would be so happy. Sometimes the boys who were serving Bhagwan would decorate the statues with flowers, and Swami would say, "Look at the mother. Doesn't she look beautiful?" And then Swami would go behind her and look at the way her hair is braided, and Swami would say, "See how neatly she has braided her hair." Swami would see the earrings and say, "See how splendid those earrings look." That was the joy of Bhagwan looking at the Divine Mother. In fact, Bhagwan, who is beyond time, beyond relationships, was telling us how powerful and sweet and deep this connection with the Mother should be. Whoever one may be, whoever he or she may be, our connection with our Mother should be primordial in our lives. And that is what Bhagwan lived, demonstrated, and showed us in every single act of his earthly sojourn.
नजरों में भी तो है, ख्यालों में तो है, तेरे बिना रह न पाएंगे। नजरों में भी तो है, ख्यालों में तो है, तेरे बिना रह न पाएंगे। साई माँ, प्यारी पकड़ के चलना सिखलाया, जीना है क्या इसका मतलब बतलाया, दूर न जाना कभी तुम, तेरे बिना क्या दिन क्या रातें, माँ तुम आ जाओ ना, तेरे बिना क्या दिन क्या रातें, माँ तुम आ जाओ ना। साई माँ, प्यारी माँ, साई माँ, प्यारी दिल की अनोखी सी धड़कन तुम, सांसों में बसती है तू मेरी माँ। नजरों में भी तो है, ख्यालों में तो है, तेरे बिना रह न पाएंगे। नजरों में भी तो है, ख्यालों में तो है, तेरे बिना रह न पाएंगे। साई दिल के हर कण में तेरा नाम गाए ये दिल हर पल हर लम्हा सोचे तेरी सूरत साई माँ प्यारी माँ इस दिल के हर कण में तेरा नाम गाए ये दिल हर पल हर लम्हा सोचे तेरी सूरत साई माँ तेरी मुस्कानों से भरा चेहरा इस दुनिया से भी है न्यारा वो आँखों से हुई बातें हम उसको भुला नहीं पाते हम रूठे तो तुम मनाती हो हम गाए तो तुम गुनगुनाती हो जो कहते हैं हम तुम सुनती हो सपने सारे तुम पूरे करती हो तेरी याद सदा रही है माँ आओ ना आ जाओ ना तेरे चरणों में हमको बसाओ माँ आओ ना आ जाओ ना हमको गले से लगाओ माँ प्यारी माँ प्यारी माँ प्यारी माँ साई माँ प्यारी माँ प्यारी माँ प्यारी माँ बूंदों से बनता है सागर सागर से बनती लहर कोई जुदा ना कर पाए सागर से उसकी लहर तुम दया के सागर हो माँ हम हैं तेरी लहर साथ हमारा न छूटेगा जन्म जन्म भर ओ माँ
जय 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 गणपति देवा 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 गजानना 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 हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा जय 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 गणपति देवा जय 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 गणपति देवा जय 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 गणपति देवा गजानना 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 हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा जय 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 गणपति देवा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा साई नारायणा सत्यनारायणा साई नारायणा सत्यनारायणा साई नारायणा सत्यनारायणा साई नारायणा सत्यनारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा कलयुग में अवतार लिए कलयुग में अवतार ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा साई नारायणा सत्यनारायणा साई नारायणा सत्यनारायणा कलयुग में अवतार लिए कण कण में तेरा नाम साई कण कण में तेरा नाम साई कण कण में तेरा नाम ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया साई नारायणा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया ईशा महेशा श्री साईशा ईशा महेशा श्री साईशा ईशा महेशा श्री साईशा ईशा महेशा श्री साईशा युगावतारा साईशा युगावतारा साईशा युगावतारा साईशा युगावतारा साईशा प्रेमावतारा साईशा प्रेमावतारा साईशा पूर्णावतारा साईशा पूर्णावतारा साईशा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया ईशा महेशा श्री साईशा ईशा महेशा श्री साईशा युगावतारा साईशा युगावतारा साईशा प्रेमावतारा साईशा प्रेमावतारा साईशा पूर्णावतारा साईशा पूर्णावतारा साईशा ईश्वराम्बा प्रियतनया जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो जय गोविंद जय गोपाल जय महादेव नमो जय गोविंद जय गोपाल जय महादेव नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो जय जय साई नमो जय शुभदाई नमो अभय प्रदाता विश्व विधाता अभय प्रदाता विश्व विधाता जगदोद्धार नमो जगदोद्धार नमो जय शिरडीशा जय परतीशा जय परमेश 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 नमो संरक्षक राम दशरथ नंदन श्री रामचंद्र धर्म संरक्षक राम देवकी नंदन मुरलीधरा आनंददायक श्याम देवकी नंदन मुरलीधरा आनंददायक श्याम ईश्वराम सुत श्री सत्य साई प्रेमामृत भगवान ईश्वराम सुत श्री सत्य साई प्रेमामृत भगवान जय 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 शिव शक्ति स्वरूपा मंगलदायक नाम जय 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 शिव शक्ति स्वरूपा मंगलदायक नाम दशरथ नंदन राम दशरथ नंदन राम आनंददायक श्याम आनंददायक श्याम प्रेमामृत भगवान प्रेमामृत भगवान जय 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 साई राम जय 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 साई राम बोलो जय 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 साई राम बोलो जय 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 साई राम दशरथ नंदन राम दशरथ नंदन राम आनंददायक श्याम आनंददायक श्याम प्रेमामृत भगवान प्रेमामृत भगवान जय 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 साई राम जय 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 साई राम बोलो जय 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 साई राम बोलो जय 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 साई राम ईश्वरांबा प्रियनंदना ईश्वरांबा प्रियनंदना साई जय जगवंदना साई जय जगवंदना साई जय जगवंदना साई जय जगवंदना ईश्वरांबा प्रियनंदना ईश्वरांबा प्रियनंदना रत्नाकर कुलभूषणा रत्नाकर कुलभूषणा राजीवनयना नारायणा राजीवनयना नारायणा नारायण हरि नारायण 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 नारायण साई 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 नारायण ईश्वरांबा प्रियनंदना
भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं हरि नाम बिना हरि भजन बिना शांति नहीं जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं दय धर्म बिना सत्कर्म नहीं दय धर्म बिना सत्कर्म नहीं भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं हरि नाम बिना हरि नाम बिना आनंद कही, हरि भजन बिना, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं। గత జీవుడగు పతిం బ్రతికించి ఏము గెల్చే సావిత్రి భారత సాధ్వికాదే.
A woman who brought back to life her dead husband, that is Savitri, is she not remembered and memorable?
తన సత్య మహిమచే దావాగ్ని చల్లార్చే తృతి చంద్రమతి భారతీయ గాదే.
Was not Chandramati an Indian woman who extinguished the tremendous fire that was burning?
కినిసి దుర్మద కిరాతియు భూతిగా వించే దమయంతి భారత రమణిగాదే.
Is not Damayanti the greatest woman of India who did so many things which are so memorable and rememberable?
సత్పసాగర వేష్టి తస్మాతలమున భరత ధాతి పతివ్రత ప్రభావ భావ సంపన్నతకు గాదే పంట భూమి.
India, Bharat, is the flourishing field of many illustrious women who have been famous for their womanhood.
అఖిల దేశాలకిది ఉపాధ్యాయికదే.
Is not India the teacher of the whole world?
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
అనాది కాలము నుండి భారతదేశమును అనేక ఆదర్శములను చేత ఆనందింపజేస్తూ వచ్చినటువంటి వారు స్త్రీలు.
In the land of Bharat, from times immemorial, women have not only upheld womanhood, but have given joy to everyone.
కనుకనే సృష్టి ఆది నుండి కూడాను స్త్రీ పురుషుడు అనేటువంటి స్త్రీ పేరు ముందు, పురుషుని పేరు వెనుక పెడుతూ వచ్చారు.
Therefore, from creation, of the beginning of creation, we always say the name of the woman first as Stri, and then only Purusha, the man.
స్త్రీ అనగా ప్రకృతి యొక్క స్వరూపమే.
Stri, the word Stri means she is the embodiment of creation.
కనుక మొట్టమొదట స్త్రీని ఆధారం చేసుకుని జీవిత సమస్యలను పరిహారం గావించుకుంటూ వచ్చారు ప్రాచీన ఋషులు.
So the rishis of old took woman as the ideal and tried to solve their problems through the women.
అన్ని సమస్యలకు కూడాను స్త్రీల యొక్క పవిత్ర హృదయాలే దీనికి మూల కారణములు.
To solve all the problems, the purity of the woman's heart is at the bottom.
ఈనాడు లోకములో ఎక్కడ చూచినా దుఃఖము, ఎక్కడ చూచినా అశాంతి, ఎక్కడ చూచినా బాధలు, కష్టసుఖములు కూడాను కంటికి కనిపిస్తున్నవి.
Today in this whole wide world, we see nothing but chaos, suffering, hatred, and so many other negative qualities.
దీనికి కారణం ఏమిటి?
What is the reason for this?
పవిత్ర హృదయులైనటువంటి యొక్క స్త్రీ పురుషులు లోపం కావడమే ఈ దేశమునకు ఇట్టి కష్టములకు మూల కారణం.
Because there isn't harmony between the men and the women. This is the reason for all the chaos and trouble in the world.
దేశం యొక్క మంచి చెడ్డలు అన్ని కూడాను పవిత్ర హృదయులైనటువంటి స్త్రీ పురుషుల యొక్క చర్యల వలనే దీనికి మంచి చెడ్డలుగా రూపొందుతున్నది.
So whether it is good or bad, everything is represented only by the purity that resides in both men and women.
దేశంలో పవిత్ర హృదయులైనటువంటి స్త్రీ పురుషులే ఉండినా దేశక్షేమములకు ఎట్టి కొరత కూడాను ఉండదు.
If there were only women and men of purity, then there would be nothing lacking in the peace and joy in the world.
ఈనాడు అట్టి పవిత్ర హృదయములు అనేక విధమైన మాలిన్యం చేత కలుషితమైపోయినవి.
Today the pure hearts have been besmirched with so much of dirt, of human negative thoughts.
ఇది కాగితము.
That is a paper.
ఇది ప్యూర్ వైట్ గా ఉంటున్నది.
It is pure white.
కానీ దీనికి ఇటువైపున తిరిగి వ్రాయటం చేత కొంచెం మాలిన్యమైపోయేది.
Because something is written on the reverse, it has become a little
మానవుని యొక్క
dirty.
హృదయం కూడాను ఇట్టి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి యొక్క కాగితం వంటిది.
Even the pure heart is like the pure paper that we have.
కానీ ఇట్టి కాగితం పైన అనేక రకమైనటువంటి యొక్క సమస్యలు చేరిపోవటం చేతను కూడిపోవటం చేతను ఇది మాలిన్యం పొందుతున్నది.
On this pure paper, because we write so many things that are insolvable, negative, it becomes dirty.
మీకందరికీ తెలుసును, తెల్లవారు లేచిన మొదలు న్యూస్ పేపర్ వైపు చూస్తూ ఉంటారు మీరు.
We all know that from the time you get up in the morning,
ఆ న్యూస్ పేపర్ పూర్వం చూసినప్పుడు ఎట్టి వాసనలు కానీ ఎట్టి ఒక కళంకం కానీ ఎట్టి ఒక గలీజు కానీ కనిపించదు.
you look to the newspaper which is pure, which has no dirt, which has no bad smell, nothing whatsoever.
కానీ అదే నేటి న్యూస్ పేపరు రేపటికి వేస్ట్ పేపర్ గా అవుతుంది.
Today's newspaper becomes tomorrow's waste paper.
ఈ వేస్ట్ పేపర్ లోపల మల్లెపూలు చుట్టి పెట్టినప్పుడు ఆ పేపర్కు మల్లెపూలు వాసనే వస్తుంది.
If in this waste paper you wrap flowers, jasmine flowers, it gets a beautiful fragrance.
అదే పేపర్ పైన కొన్ని వాసన కలిగినటువంటి పకోడాలు చుట్టినప్పుడు పకోడాల వాసన వస్తుంది.
In the same paper, if you wrap up pakodas which have some kind of a smell, it takes the smell of the
ఆ పేపర్ పైననే తిరిగి డ్రై ఫిష్ అంతా కట్టినప్పుడు డ్రై ఫిష్ వాసన వస్తుంది.
And in the same paper, if you put dry fish, it gets the smell of dry fish.
ఎట్టి భావంలో అట్టి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి యొక్క చింతన మనకు కలుగుతుండాలి.
Whatever our thoughts, such is what transpires.
కనుక మొట్టమొదట మనము సొసైటీని గౌరవించాలి.
First and foremost, we've got to hold and regard
ఎందుకంటే
society.
సొసైటీలో పుట్టాము,
because we are born in
సొసైటీలో
society.
పెరిగినాము,
We have grown in
సొసైటీలో
society.
జీవిస్తున్నాము,
We are living in society.
సొసైటీని గౌరవించాలి.
We have got to show respect to society.
అప్పుడే మన జీవితము ఆదర్శవంతమైన జీవితంగా
It's only then our lives will become exemplary.
కొన్ని నాది నేను చెప్పుకోవటం గొప్పది కాదు.
It is not that I would like to talk about myself.
కానీ ఈ యొక్క శరీరములకు మాతృమూర్తి ఈశ్వరమ్మ ఉండేటువంటిది.
For this body there was a mother, Easwaramma.
ఆమె ఎంత మంచి విషయాలు చెప్పేటువంటిది అంటే చాలా గొప్పవి. చదువు రాదు, సంధ్యలు రాదు, ఓనామాలే నేర్చుకోలేదు.
She was uneducated, she was actually illiterate, but what wonderful things she used to tell.
ఆమెనే మొట్టమొదట స్వామి మన దేశంలో ఎంతో గొప్ప మంది ఉంటారు, కానీ చిన్నపిల్లలు ఆ యొక్క నడుచుకొని బుక్కబట్టాన్ని పోతున్నారంటే నాకు చాలా కంటి నీరు కారుస్తుంది. మన గ్రామంలోనే ఒక చిన్న స్కూల్ కట్టించండి స్వామి అని కోరింది.
Swami, there are many people, but little children go walking to the school in Puttaparthi from our village. Swami, could you please build a school for the children here?
నా దగ్గర డబ్బు లేదే అన్నాను.
And I said, I have no money with me.
తన మెడలో తీసింది దండ, దీన్ని అమ్మేసి కావాల్సింటే కట్టండి స్వామి అని.
She removed the golden chain from her neck and then she said, sell it. And then
తొందరపడద్దు, నేను నిన్ను పరీక్ష చేయడం కోసం నేను అడిగాను, నేను తప్ప కట్టిస్తానన్నాను.
Don't be hasty, I just wanted to test you.
రెండవ దినమే పునాది వేశాను.
I shall build a school on the second day.
వారం లోపలనే కొట్టం తయారైపోయింది.
The foundation was laid and in 1 week
పిల్లలందరినీ స్కూల్లో చేర్చాను.
1 week it was complete and all the children were admitted to the school.
ఒక వారమైన తర్వాత
After a week,
తృప్తి అయిందా ఈనాడు నీకు అని అడిగాను.
I asked her, are you now satisfied?
కానీ తృప్తిగా చెప్పడం లేదు.
She didn't say she was
కానీ
happy.
కొంచెం తృప్తి అయింది, కానీ ఇంకా కొంచెం కాలేదు స్వామి అని.
She said, I'm somewhat satisfied, but there's something more.
ఏం కాలేదు నీకు అన్నాను.
What is it? You tell me.
చిన్న పిల్లలకు జలుబు దగ్గు ఇలాంటివంతా వస్తుంటే ఆ బుక్కపట్నం ఆసుపత్రికి ఆ తల్లు ఏడ్చుకుంటూ తీసుకుని పోతుంటే వీళ్ళు ఇక్కడి నుంచి నడిచే లోపలనే వాళ్ళకి ఏమైపోతుందో అని బాధపడుతున్నాను. ఆ చిన్న ఆసుపత్రి ఒకటి మన గ్రామంలో కట్టించండి అని.
When little children have little ailments like cold and fever and all that, the mothers should walk to Puttaparthi and take them. And in the meanwhile, anything can happen. Swami, could you please build a hospital for these little ones?
ఆ హాస్పిటల్ కూడా ఒక చిన్నది కట్టించారు.
So I built a small hospital here.
ఈ విధంగా ఒక్కొక్కటి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి ఒక ప్రజలకు ఉపయోగమయ్యేటువంటివిగా బోధించేటువంటి వారు.
So she was a person who used to tell things which were for the good of whole mankind.
స్వామి, మన గ్రామంలో మాత్రం ఉండి ప్రయోజనం కాదు, అన్ని గ్రామాల వారికి కూడా ఆనందాన్ని అందించాలి.
Swami, it is not enough if it's in our own village. All the villages should have these facilities.
కనుక ప్రతి మానవుడు కూడా సుఖంగా ఉండాలి.
Every man should be happy.
మీరు భజనలు అయిపోతానే చెప్తున్నారు.
You say after the
లోక
bhajan
సమస్త సుఖినో భవంతు అని.
that the whole world should be happy.
కానీ లోకమంతా సుఖంగా ఉందా ఇప్పుడు?
But when the whole world has to be happy,
లోకానికంతా సుఖాన్ని అందించకూడదు.
Why shouldn't we give happiness to the
ఇంతమంది
world?
వస్తున్నారే,
So many people are
తప్పని మీ
coming.
లోకానికి సుఖాన్ని అందించాలి స్వామి అనింది.
And she said, you have got to give them all happiness, Swami.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपदान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी हो साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो